Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Learning Together. This time, let's talk about the preliminary concepts of assessment. Now, what is assessment? I know that this is not your first time to encounter the word assessment. Assessment in Bisaya is term pagsusi or pagsususi. Susihon nimo, sutaon, hibawan. Okay? And in Tagalog, ito ay pagtatasa. And it is used, assessment is used in different field, not just in education. In broader sense, assessment is commonly referred to as a systematic process of collecting data based on performance, analyzing and interpreting data to arrive at a valid result. So as you can see, have here the highlighted term, process of collecting data, analyzing the data that you have collected, and have your interpretation based on your analysis in order for you to give this valid and reliable result. Now, we have to narrow down the definition of assessment in its broader sense to what it means in the field of education. In education, assessment refers to the wide variety of methods or tools that educators use to evaluate, measure, and document the academic readiness, learning progress, and skill acquisition or educational needs of the students. And since CMO number 52, series of 2016, states that a university has four functions, namely instruction, research, extension, and production, the scope of educational assessment becomes bigger. To know more about the scope of educational assessment, we have here assessment of curricular offerings. The course offerings must be assessed in order to determine if they are still relevant, realistic, and responsive to the changing needs of the society. That's why we have this CHED monitoring visit, PACOCOA accreditations, and all other audits and accreditations. Next, assessment of school programs. School programs must be appraised or assessed in order to determine if the faculty is overloaded or underloaded. So there must be an appraisal for all the school programs. Third, assessment of instructional materials. The instructional materials like books, reference books, visual aids, and devices must be evaluated to ascertain if they are adequate and updated. Assessment of instructional facilities. So, the instructional facilities like classroom, your laboratory equipment, your chemical physical plant, your entire buildings must be assessed if they are adequate and if they are conducive to learning. Next is assessment of teachers and professors. The teachers and professors must be evaluated if they are qualified, competent, and can deliver efficient services to the students effectively, efficiently, and excellently. Teachers and professors are also evaluated whether they have participated in research activities and community extension activities of the institution. Next is assessment of students. So students must be assessed whether they have or have not reached or achieved the learning goal. Number 7, assessment of graduates. Now maybe you will ask, why do we need to evaluate, why do we need to assess our graduates? After all, they leave the portals of the university. There should be an assessment of graduates in order for us to check whether our graduates have passed the licensure examination or not, whether they are employed, unemployed, or underemployed. So there must be a trace, there must be a tracer for our graduates, because the result of the assessment of our graduates will be our basis in the internal part of the management or in the organization to whatever the things that we need to improve in order for our graduates to have this a good passing percentage for the graduates to pass the licensure examinations. UCLMCTE is performing over and above the national passing. Our passing percentage in the licensure examination for professional teachers is above the national passing, and we even produce top-notchers over the years. We are also level 3 accredited in both of our programs, BS Ed and BE Ed. Okay? Next is assessment of school managers. So school managers are the dean, the chairperson, or the ones who manages the school. Number 9, assessment of research. Research activities must be evaluated to determine if the teachers or professors have conducted research efficiently and effectively. And in today's trend, every teacher must have a research paper in order for you to contribute information or knowledge in the field of education, in order for the education system in the Philippines to be at par with those of the other countries. Number 10, assessment of extension or community extension services. Community extension activities must be assessed to determine if all teachers or professors have extension activities to a certain adopted barangay, and that certain community extension service or community extension program must be sustainable. Among all of these scope of educational assessment, our focus is the number 6, the assessment of students' learning. And we have to narrow down our definition of assessment into the classroom context. Now, assessment in the classroom refers to, okay, that's according to DepEd Order number 8, series of 2015, that assessment refers to the systematic process to keep track of learners' progress, promote self-reflection and personal accountability, and provide basis for profiling of students' performance. Now, you have here the word process, to keep track, meaning to say to monitor the status of our students' learning, and to promote self-reflection towards the student side, and then for you to decide whether the students have learned or not, whether you fail the student or you pass the student. Okay? With this definition of assessment in the classroom, we can tell that assessment is an ongoing process of identifying, gathering, organizing, and interpreting of quantitative and qualitative information about a learner to increase learning and development. So it is an ongoing process because it may occur before, during, and after the teaching and learning process. Quantitative information or quantitative evidences can take the form of scores from summative examinations, the test results, and other objective activities that you are doing in your classroom. On the other hand, qualitative information or qualitative evidences refers to journal entries, performance rating, the excellent or very good, or you can have this needs improvement, and even self-reflections of the student. So you have to compile it and then put it inside the compilation portfolio. You can keep track the students' learning. So among all of this definition of assessment, in short, assessment is all the things that we do in our learning environment, all the things that we do in the classroom in order for us to get information about the progress of students' learning, about the progress of our students, and to provide reliable information to teachers, ikaw, for you, para makasulti ka nga, oh my God, my students are learning, my students are performing well, for you to be informed on your teaching. Okay? And then, for the parents as well, to be informed, for them to have knowledge on the academic performance or the total performance of their learner, because they entrusted the learner to us, and then it is our duty now to inform them on the student's progress and development in the course. Alright, that's all for now. I hope you are learning. Once again, this is Sir Chan.